Quick disclaimer, information in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and is not intended to be treated as medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare team before making changes to your diet, lifestyle, supplementation, or medication.
Think chocolate's off the table with diabetes? Think again. Today you'll discover how the right kind of chocolate will have little impact on blood sugar and can actually support your health.
Welcome to Type 2 Diabetes Talk, the place where we chat about what really works to treat type 2 diabetes and prediabetes naturally with nutrition and lifestyle. If you're looking to optimize blood sugar and A1C, lose weight, reduce medications, and improve your overall health, this is the place to be. Now, here's your host, Type 2 Diabetes Nutrition Specialist, Dr. Jeddah.
Hello, Dr. Jeddah here, and welcome to episode 85. Today we're exploring a topic that brings up a lot of questions and cravings: chocolate. We're going to explore chocolate options and uncover whether chocolate can actually be part of a blood sugar-friendly lifestyle. Now, before you think, there's no way I can eat chocolate with diabetes, hold that thought. Because the truth is, not all chocolate is created equal, and there's one primary ingredient in chocolate that offers some pretty impressive health benefits, even for blood sugar. That ingredient? Cocoa. In this episode, you'll learn what makes cocoa different from regular chocolate, how to spot the best chocolate options on the shelf, and easy ways to include chocolate in your diet without spiking your blood sugar. If you love chocolate, and who doesn't from time to time, then this episode is going to bring you clarity so you can enjoy chocolate without any guilt. What exactly is cocoa, and how is it different from the chocolate you find in the supermarket checkout line? Cocoa comes from the seeds of the cacao tree. Some people call it cacao. Depends how you want to pronounce that. But these seeds or beans go through a fermentation and drying process. Then they're roasted and ground. And the result is what we call cocoa powder, the rich, dark substance that gives chocolate its very distinctive flavour. This is the ingredient I want you to get familiar with. Now, you might also see that word, cacao, it's C-A-C-A-O, floating around. That usually refers to the raw or less processed version. And it's nutritionally very similar to cocoa, but for everyday use, most people are working with unsweetened cocoa powder. And that's what we'll be talking about today. What's really great about cocoa powder is that it's low in carbohydrates, high in fibre, and actually it's packed with nutrients. For just 1 tablespoon, you're looking at about 3 grams of carbs, 2 of which are fibre, so really only 1 gram of net carbs, and that's very good for blood sugar control. Cocoa powder is also rich in magnesium, which is especially important for people with diabetes because it helps improve insulin sensitivity and plays a role in blood sugar control. You'll also find iron, potassium, zinc, and a powerful group of antioxidants called flavanols. And flavanols are where the magic happens. They've been studied for their ability to support cardiovascular health, reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and even enhance cognitive function. All areas that are important when you're working to manage or reverse type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. But here's the key. Cocoa powder on its own doesn't contain added sugar or fat. It's not the same as milk chocolate or even some dark chocolates, which often come with added ingredients that can spike your blood sugar levels. Cocoa is the pure, nutritious foundation of chocolate, and when you choose the right type and use it the right way, it can absolutely be part of your diabetes-friendly lifestyle. Cocoa isn't just a delicious flavouring, it has some pretty impressive science behind it, especially when it comes to blood sugar and insulin sensitivity, and this is where cocoa stands out from just being a tasty treat. One of the most exciting areas of research is around insulin resistance, which, as you may know from previous episodes, is a core issue in type 2 diabetes and prediabetes. The flavanols in cocoa have been shown to help improve how your body responds to insulin, which is critical for lowering and stabilising blood sugar levels. In a randomised control trial, people who consumed high flavanol cocoa saw significant improvements in insulin sensitivity after just a few weeks. That's a short time for a pretty meaningful shift. The researchers found that cocoa flavanols help the blood vessels function better and improved insulin's ability to do its job, helping glucose move out of the bloodstream and into the cells where it's needed. Another study found that cocoa flavanols can reduce oxidative stress. Think of this like the internal wear and tear your body's cells experience, which is often elevated in people living with diabetes. Oxidative stress contributes to inflammation, insulin resistance, and even long-term complications. So reducing it, well, that's a pretty big deal. And here's another bonus. Cocoa doesn't just support blood sugar control, it supports your heart health as well. This again is pretty important because cardiovascular disease is a leading complication in diabetes. Cocoa flavanols have been shown to help lower blood pressure, improve blood vessel flexibility, and increase the production of nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and widens blood vessels to enhance circulation. Better blood flow means delivery of nutrients and oxygen throughout your body, and that's a win for both your heart and your metabolic health. And let's not forget about cholesterol. Studies have shown that cocoa flavanols can increase HDL cholesterol, the good kind, and help lower LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad kind, which further reduces your risk of heart disease. Plus, there is one other reason we love chocolate that goes beyond sugar. Cocoa can stimulate the release of our feel-good neurotransmitters like serotonin and endorphins, which help improve overall mood and reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. So just to recap, here's what cocoa may help with in our body, and it's a lot of different things. It's improved insulin sensitivity, lower fasting blood glucose levels, reduced oxidative stress and inflammation, lower blood pressure and improve circulation, help with healthier cholesterol levels, and chocolate enhances our feel-good hormones. This is all science-backed data, and that's a pretty remarkable list from something as simple as a spoonful of unsweetened cocoa powder. In many ways, you can think of cocoa as a simple superfood you can add regularly to your routine to obtain these health benefits.
Are you ready to take charge of your diabetes health? Dr. Jetta's T2 diet program has been clinically proven in a randomized controlled trial to dramatically reduce A1C, weight, and medications in just 16 weeks. The T2 diet program will guide you step by step to discover an eating plan that feels natural and sustainable for you, and most importantly, works to get results. Learn more and join the program today at type2diabetestalk.com/programs.
Okay, we know there are benefits from eating unsweetened cocoa powder, but does that mean eating chocolate bars every day is okay? Not really. Can you eat chocolate with diabetes? The answer is absolutely yes, but you have to be choosy. Not all chocolate is created equal, and the type you pick makes all the difference. Let's break this down. Most chocolate products you'll find in supermarkets, especially milk chocolate, are loaded with added sugar. Even some dark chocolates, which sound like a healthier option, can still have quite a bit of sugar added to them. So the next time you pick up a chocolate bar, the most important step is to flip it over and read the label. And here's some key things to look out for. You want to be looking for high cocoa content of at least 70% or higher, and the ones with 85% or higher are even better because more cocoa and less sugar is better for you. And of course, we are talking about dark chocolate here. Dark chocolate is your friend with diabetes, while others, like milk chocolate or white chocolate, they won't provide the benefits of being rich in cocoa, and they will be much higher in sugar. Which brings us to the next thing on labels, the added sugar content. Keep this as low as possible or aim for 0. Low in carbs and low in sugar is the key to enjoying chocolate while keeping your blood sugar and A1C levels happy. And take note of the portion size and stick to it. You can easily consume more than one portion, which could push your blood sugar levels up higher than you'd like them to be. One thing you will notice is that when the cocoa content goes up, the sweetness can come down, and that's actually a good thing. The higher the cocoa content, the more flavanols and antioxidants you're getting, and the lower the sugar content tends to be. That said, lots of people can't stand the bitterness of dark chocolate that's 85% or higher, so at the very least, aim for one that is 70% cocoa. And this can give you a nicer balance between that sweetness, the health benefits, and the satisfaction. But again, just keeping in mind that when it comes to carbs and sugar, a portion of 70% cocoa-enriched chocolate might be a smaller portion than 85% cocoa-enriched chocolate. To give you a better idea of how different chocolate types compare, let's take a quick look at the average nutrition content. Let's start with white chocolate. Despite the name, white chocolate doesn't actually contain any cocoa solids, just cocoa butter, sugar and milk. And in a small 30-gram, 1-ounce serving, which is about 3 squares, you're looking at roughly 17 to 19 grams of carbs. Almost all of that from sugar, around 16 to 18 grams. There's 0 fibre and 0 flavanols. In other words, no health benefits and a whole lot of sugar. White chocolate is definitely not something we generally recommend. Next is milk chocolate, which does contain some cocoa, usually around 30 to 40%, but it's still mostly sugar. In that same 1 ounce, 30-gram serving, you'll get 15 to 17 grams carbs with about 14 to 16 grams of sugar and maybe 1 gram of fibre. So again, quite a sugar hit with minimal nutritional value. Now let's move to 70% dark chocolate. This is where things start to improve. You're getting more cocoa and fewer added sugars, remember? So for that same 1 ounce, 30-gram serve, you might be seeing around 9 to 14 grams of carbs, 6 to 9 grams of sugar, and about 3 grams of fibre. Of course, with these nutrition facts, it can depend on the specific chocolate. And finally, 85% dark chocolate. If you don't mind the bitterness, this is what we often recommend if you're going to buy a store-bought chocolate. It typically has around 6 to 9 grams of total carbs and only 3 to 5 grams of sugar and about 4 grams of fibre per serve. Plus, with the higher cocoa content, you're getting more of these beneficial flavonoids. It's still a treat, but much more aligned with your blood sugar-friendly eating. So as you go higher in cocoa content, you get less sugar, more fibre, and more benefits, which is exactly what you want when making a smart chocolate choice. But as I said, it really does depend on the specific chocolate. So the important thing is that you always flip over the bar and read the nutrition facts. Before we move on to explore more chocolate treats, let's hear a testimonial from one of our members.
Joanne said, "You have been so much help to me this past year. My A1C started out around 9.5. It has been at 5.4 for the past 6 months. I have lost close to 50 pounds. Thanks for all your help."
As we've established, when it comes to chocolate, your best option is dark chocolate and go as dark as you can go. But a minimum of 70% cocoa is the goal. Another great option is chocolate sweetened with safe sugar substitutes like stevia, erythritol or allulose. These won't raise your blood sugar and still give you that rich chocolatey taste. When it comes to chocolate, you'll actually be pleasantly surprised that there are lots of options available, both low sugar dark chocolate options and sugar-free options as well. So to help you out with choices, we'll leave a list of good chocolate brands in the show notes for you to explore, so you can head over to our website. And members, you can find this info alongside episode 85 in the members library. One thing we recommend to many of our members is to make your own chocolatey treats at home using unsweetened cocoa powder. And this gives you full control over the ingredients, no hidden sugars or strange additives. Here are some ideas. Mix cocoa into your smoothies or shakes. Adding a tablespoon of cocoa to a smoothie is a great way to boost your antioxidant intake while keeping your blood sugar in check. Make your own hot chocolate. Mix unsweetened cocoa powder with your choice of milk, unsweetened almond, soy milk, cow's milk, or half and half. Add a touch of natural sweetener like stevia or erythritol for a satisfying treat without the sugar. Bake a cake. We've got a very decadent chocolate mud cake recipe that is low in carbs and sugar and incredibly satisfying. And if you feed this to family and friends, they won't even know it's sugar-free. It is that decadent. So members, you can find that in the recipe database. Create your own chocolate chia pudding or yogurt bowls with a tablespoon of cocoa, plain Greek yogurt and a sprinkle of nuts or seeds for a delicious treat. In fact, using safe sweeteners, which we covered in episode 49, you can make all sorts of cocoa-rich, decadent chocolate desserts. Chocolate mousse, chocolate cake, chocolate milkshakes, chocolate pudding, chocolate fudge, chocolate protein bars, chocolate cookies, chocolate nut bars. The ideas really are endless. If you are one of our members listening, we'll leave all our chocolate recipes alongside this episode because there are lots of delicious ways to use cocoa for its health benefits and for its enjoyment. And one additional benefit of homemade chocolate treats is you can enjoy the flavour and benefits of cocoa without the blood sugar spikes that come with typical chocolate products, especially those milk chocolate and white chocolate products. To recap what we've talked about today, should you avoid chocolate? Absolutely not. Chocolate is a yes food. However, you must choose wisely. Many commercially available chocolates contain added sugars that can spike your blood sugar and negatively impact your health goals. If you do want to enjoy chocolate, look for products with high cocoa content and check the label for the carb and added sugar content. Remember, the higher the cocoa content, the more likely you are to benefit from the flavanols and the lower the sugar content will be. And that means the less impact on your blood sugar levels. Think dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is your friend. And when it comes to cocoa powder, it isn't just a treat. It's a nutrient-rich, low-carb ingredient that can support insulin sensitivity, heart health, cholesterol, and boost those feel-good hormones. So whether it is adding a dark chocolate treat to your routine or indulging in delicious cocoa-rich treats, you can enjoy the rich flavour and potential health benefits without sabotaging your blood sugar. Of course, you might not want to indulge 3 times a day. That might not be so good for blood sugar, but certainly enjoy chocolate and chocolatey treats as a regular part of your eating routine and by choosing the right options. You can certainly do so without any guilt at all. So, happy chocolate eating? That's all from me today. Dr. Jeddah, over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to Type 2 Diabetes Talk. Please subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform. And for episode replays, episode notes, and more, visit type2diabetestalk.com. New episodes are available Tuesdays, 10 a.m. US Eastern Time, or your time zone equivalent. Thanks again. We're truly grateful to be a part of your life and help make a real difference.